family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.
The first comic is worth $800,000.
Come on. 25% of $1 billion is enough to keep the lights on for a while, isn't it? Maybe even pay off your fourth mortgage on the Baxter Building.
The first issue in a series featuring a famous comic book character can make you very rich very quickly. Something that is pretty remarkable considering they cost as little as 10 cents when they were first released. 1961's Fantastic Four #1, for example, is valued at $800,000, as long as it's in tip-top condition.
Typical of Victor Von Doom to build a 30-foot statue of himself.
Heck, even an ungraded copy that is in mediocre condition can earn you several $100s depending on the buyer. If you have a ton of old comics put away in boxes in your attic, you may want to go through them. You could be sitting on a gold mine.
Well then, to our future. Together. It's funny how things turn out, isn't it?
Bill Murray played the Human Torch.
God damn it, Bill Murray!
Sure, Bill Murray himself may actually be a superhero, but it's hard to picture him playing one of the Marvel characters.
You know, the whole country is looking for the Human Torch.
Yeah?
And he's right here working with us on cars.
Well, I've got to do a little welding, guys, so step back for a few seconds. Flame on!
Well, before he joined Saturday Night Live in 1977, that's exactly what he did. Murray provided the voice of the Human Torch in a 1975 radio show.
Hold it. Leave him alone. Can't you see he's sick? He's got amnesia, loss of memory. He doesn't even know who he is.
Although it only lasted 10 episodes, the show featured the entire Fantastic Four team along with Ant-Man, Nick Fury, and the Hulk, and it was narrated by Stan Lee.
As Johnny explains his superhuman abilities, one of his ex-teammates is right outside.
Plus, it had Bill friggin' Murray.
Are you the Keymaster?
Yes. I'm a friend of his. He told me to meet him here. I didn't get your name.
Invisible Girl became Invisible Woman.
What about the rest of the team?
That's the Invisible Girl.
What about your leader?
The first version of Sue Storm in the comics was a little bit ridiculous, to say the least. For starters, she was married to Reed Richards despite being nearly 20 years younger than him. She was also pretty much useless. The writers relegated her to the stereotypical damsel in distress mode, and the other members of the team would have to repeatedly rescue her from the villain. When John Byrne started writing the book in the 1980s, however, he changed her name from the Invisible Girl to the Invisible Woman and gave her more powers too, including that powerful force field attack, which made her a prominent member of the team.
Susan, let's not fight.
No, let's.
The Thing starred in an animated series.
What can we do for you today, Thing?
I'm here to make a withdrawal.
In 1979, The Thing received his own kid-focused TV show that was part of a 10-episode crossover special. But more on that later. There were several changes to his character, however. For example, the main character of the show was a boy named Benji Grimm, who could transform into the Thing by placing his magic rings together.
I gotta save those kids! Thing Ring, do your thing!
He also sorta needed to shout out, "Thing Ring, do your thing," to begin the transformation. Even more bizarrely, the Thing spent most of his time protecting his friends from practical jokes. You think whoopee cushions are funny? Then it's clobbering time.
Like to go for a little spin?
What's happening?
Attaboy, Thing.
The Thing almost met the Flintstones.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family.
The Thing has had some strange adventures, to say the least, but by far one of the weirdest moments was when he shared a show with Fred Flintstones and Barney Rubble. The show was misleadingly titled Fred and Barney Meet the Thing, despite the fact that the characters are never actually together. Instead, the hour-long program featured a half-hour show revolving around the Thing, while the other half focused on Fred and Barney.
Flintstone? What are you doing in my house?
Hello, Mr. Slate, sir. I've come to ask a favor.
You've got a nerve to barge in here asking favors, Flintstone.
It's for a friend of mine. He needs a job.
The unlicensed Fantastic Four film that was never released.
I'll get the suits.
You're not going anywhere without me.
Fred!
All right.
It's no secret that it's been difficult to adapt the Fantastic Four to the big screen, with all three films receiving backlash from fans and critics alike. The struggle goes back as far as 1994, however, when German producer Bernd Eichinger made a low-budget Fantastic Four film to retain the rights.
It's clobbering time.
He failed to tell his directors and actors, however, who all thought they were making a legit movie. The film, which had a budget of just $1 million and was directed by B-movie legend Roger Corman, was never released in theaters.
Reed, help me. We were friends once. Remember.
The lineup has changed.
I thought you were supposed to get stronger the madder you got. Well, get mad, you dumb monster. I'm already mad.
Similar to the Avengers, the Fantastic Four roster has changed several times. In fact, every member of the Fantastic Four has left to join a different team at one point or another.
Your attention, please. Spider-Man, the Lizard, and the Fantastic Three are cordially invited to tea at Victor Von Doom's residence.
As a result, the team has had a large number of additional members, including Luke Cage, She-Hulk, Black Panther, and Ant-Man. There was also a team called the New Fantastic Four, which featured a completely new lineup consisting of Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider.
Reed feels responsible for Ben becoming the Thing.
But he has forgotten that you're the one leading us now. What do you want us to do?
They were created as Marvel's answer to the Justice League.
The Fantastic Four, starring Reed Richards, Sue Richards, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm.
It probably comes as no surprise that there is a huge rivalry between DC Comics and Marvel Comics, and as a result, each company has created similar characters and storylines over the years. This professional rivalry may have helped create the Fantastic Four.
Johnny, this is Dolce.
According to some sources, Marvel was jealous of the success of the Justice League and wanted to create their own superhero team.
My publisher had learned that DC Comics, which was then called National Comics, had a book called The Justice League, and it was selling very well. And it was made up of a number of superheroes. So he said to me, Stan, why don't you come up with a book with a team of superheroes?
Others, however, note the similarities between the Fantastic Four and DC's Challengers of the Unknown, and claim that Marvel's team is nothing more than a DC ripoff.
And 15 years later, I'm one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. I'm engaged to the hottest girl on the planet. And the big jock who played quarterback in high school, well, he's standing right in front of me asking me for my help.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. They saved Stan Lee's career.
I should be on that list.
Name?
Stan Lee.
Yeah, nice try, buddy.
No,
Nice
no,
try.
really,
Nice
I'm
try.
Stan
Yeah.
Lee.
Whether you are a comic book fan or not, nearly everyone has heard of Stan Lee. Lee had some success writing Captain America stories in the early 1940s, but following the war, the superhero genre began to fade out.
The main objective was to try to make them as close to real human beings who might have possessed superpowers as I could.
Lee almost left the industry, but thanks to a new assignment and the urging of his wife, he decided to create the Fantastic Four, a team of superheroes with a flawed humanity.
Welcome back to the Baxter, Dr. Richards. I've got the usual for you. Good to have you back, sir.
The overwhelmingly positive response to the team convinced Lee to stay in the industry, and he would go on to create some of the most famous characters of all time.
Man, I love this job.
Job, huh?
Well, we do have the suits.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite Fantastic Four fact?
I'm going to fix this.
You can't fix this.